No, he is.
Oh, are we
Okay.
live? Wow, shit, we're live.
We are live. Well,
Welcome.
welcome to a Monday night episode of the Backwards Hat Club. The Backwards Hat Dads. That's what we are.
We're like
the
Dan Quinn Club. It's the Dan
That's
Dan
right.
Quinn Club, baby. That's
yeah.
how I
He
like
made
to
it
refer
cool
to
again.
him.
Except he's a lot more jacked. I need a little bit more GLP-1 supplement stuff going.
He didn't have the backwards snapback, I don't think, in the Super Bowl, right? I think he was still wearing it.
No, he was too busy blowing a lead. Okay. So you've got Dad's Bet Baseball. This is a baseball edition of Dad's Bet Baseball. I am just, while we do this, I am retweeting, get what like the kids do. I am Adam Rosenberg, and with me as always is my cohort and co-host CJ Buskey, aka Slippin' Jimmy. CJ, how was your weekend? Actually, that's the best way to start this. That's a calm, nice way to start this.
You know what? It was good. It was pretty middling day for me NFL wise on Sunday. It was like really bad, then really good. Then I got totally just my bankroll sort of cratered at the end of the day because I was on the Ravens at the end, and I took them live, took them first half money line. I mean, that hit, but yeah, NFL wise was like kind of weird for me. Also, I had to go to a birthday party at 3:00 on a Sunday in week 1 of NFL. So that
for a child, I assume this is for a child.
No, this was for my wife's grandma who was turning 85.
Oh, it was not like a friend. Yeah.
You gotta go. Like it's a commitment. Makes the best eggplant parm in the East Coast. Shout out to her, but. Yeah, man. It was otherwise like it was okay. It was an okay weekend. What about you, man? I mean, how was your first Sunday? I know Saturday.
Well, we can talk more about it. We could talk more about it on Wednesday. We can talk about that Ravens game on Wednesday because Sean Hardy will be in, and he's a Ravens fan, and they had no business losing that game. No. But that being said, I cooked. So like I had a great Sunday. Like my sides hit, my props hit. The only thing that didn't hit was like Njoku ladder, which like cool, fine. They just went after Harold Fannin. Like, okay, cool. Which is weird because Harold Fannin had crazy usage and didn't have a touchdown. I don't care. It's all fine. I'm here to talk about some baseball. First things first, though. I think you should share your screen. I should put you, or do you? I mean, I can do.
I'm fine.
Or do you want me to do?
I was kind of feeling like I really was feeling a total base play. I don't know why. It was just kind of calm.
Do you want me to drive, or do you want to drive?
I can drive. I got it up here. Oh yeah.
You drive.
I'm ready.
Drive it. And then, and okay, so we are going to do our Hall of Fame Bets segment. Hall of Fame Bets, which you can use code DADS, has every sport imaginable. It has soccer in there too, by the way.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Shout out to Colby in the chat mentioning Blue Chew, which gives you boners. I think it does. I think it's a boner pill. I don't remember, but it might be. It's a weird name. If
Blue Chew when you have these cats.
That's right. Anyway, so we Hall of Fame Bets, HOFapp.com. We use it as a fantastic supplement to every single sport that we're doing stuff with. I was actually using it to cap NFL because one of the things that it has that's really great is that it has how teams performed against RB1, RB2. And total. It's
wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2.
Yeah. Which I like. I like that a lot. After wide receiver 1, things are fluid. Unless you're the Patriots, things are fluid. But I still think it's really important. Shout out Eli in the chat. Eli's a big support. He's like always on handy graphs. He's jumping around, doing that. So
good to see Eli here.
All of these guys. Shout out, thanks guys to everybody being active in the chat. We are going to then use our site, Handy Graphs, which. We could actually, before you dump it, look at that. First of all, so that
I'm going into dark mode, baby.
Jay Huffman, who I hope if you're watching and said to me, hey, it's really harsh on my eyes. And then CJ said, just tell him to fucking turn on dark mode.
I did. You're like, I think we need to like tone down the brightness maybe of some of the colors as like, or you could just go flip the dark mode.
Or just flip the switch.
That's why it's there.
I have 2 favorite bets in tonight's game that I'm watching closely. One did not hit. It was the punt. The second is race 25, neither plus 130. But again, we are not going to talk football. We're here to talk baseball because there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about with baseball. All right, CJ, I will let you take it away. Let's find a total bases prop gonna find one for tomorrow, I assume.
Let's do it. And
life
if
useful.
I'm sounding a little echoey, I just realized I had my like MacBook microphone enabled instead of my actual real microphone.
You stupid!
Oh yeah, one of those days. Can I look at like Jesus? Is this real? Spencer Strider has been this bad in his last 5 starts. Oh my god. That's kind of interesting to me. So let me look at. Let's see. He's at home. How's he been?
We by the way 100% do things backwards, like or inverse. I shouldn't say backwards. I should say inverse to each other.
Well, we've used the same data. We're just going, I think, a different order of operations on it. Okay, so he's been pretty bad at home. That was the first thing I just kind of wanted to clarify here. So let me just go look at some cubbies that are hitting some righties lately. I would be kind of curious on that. Oh, Kyle Tucker. What are we looking at here? Let's see. So
Kyle Tucker got hurt again.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's one dot in it too on righties.
I think he did. I don't even know if he's playing tonight. Keep going.
Okay, I'm going to keep going in here, but
he's kind of critical to like whether or not I think this team does anything in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, we'll get
Cubs get unfortunate news on Kyle Tucker ahead of Braves game on Monday. That's the headline. So assuming.
Okay, so he will not be. All right, so we'll cut him out for tomorrow. Quick side note: if you're using Handigraphs, we are looking at the lineups that are just projected for tomorrow. If RotoWire doesn't update it, then that's what we got. So I'm sure there'll be some.
Vlad's in there all the time, and when he was not playing, so.
At least I'm not seeing any undefines this time on this team. So we've got, let me see. So like right-handed pitching, like I said, if you look here on Handigraphs, seeing some. I mean, honestly, the Cubs went pretty cold. By the way, indictment here of PCA to be batting 7th.
They're talking about sounds like he's like narrowly avoiding a phantom IL stint. Acuna got dropped to 7th too.
I want to just go and try and find the episode we had where I tried to tell everybody go bet PCA for MVP.
He did. You know what? It was a great bet. It was a great bet until he decided to have no hits.
I agree too. He was one of the best. I mean, he was one of the best 3 players in baseball probably the first 3 months. But all right. So, anyways, back to this for tomorrow. Bunch of cubbies here. I can see honestly like either some HRR out of this potentially or some RBIs. I'd be kind of curious for that too. But let me look real quick back at Strider. I want to see what's he been looking like against. Oh man, he's been so bad against righties too. Should we fire here? Let's see what we got for Seiya, our RBI leader. That
I feel like Seiya's been pretty quiet. Like Seiya. So just so you know, because I'm doing it. I look at it from the last 5. You're looking at it. You're looking at it. What's Hall of Fame bets say? Because
I'm looking right now. So I want to see for total bases, and
I got Ian for total bases for me, just for what it's worth.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm looking at.
I got Ian Happ like crazy popping for me. If Ian Happ is someone who you are interested in at all.
Okay. Hold on. Let's go. I mean, he did also pop on mine here too, right? I mean, he's like literally the next guy that I was going to go look at because he's a lefty. So let's look here.
Kind of don't mind him for RBI.
Pretty good against. That's right, because Hall of Fame Bets is not going to have the pitching matchup, I believe, until
not yet
tomorrow. But right-handed. We'll look at this. When I'm using Hall of Fame Bets, you don't have Strider, so you can't get the like head-to-head, but you can at least see against righties. And honestly, Strider's probably been in like the 25th percentile or worse, right? Yeah.
Strider's been bad. He's just letting up a lot of base runners.
Oh, yeah.
He really should get moved to closer.
I like this one. I like this one a lot. Because you look
use this. So you like his bases? What's the price? Oh, he's got it 7 out of 10. Nice. Oh,
7 out of 10 when he's going against bad pitching, and
look at him against that bullpen. Yeah, he's seen it.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's got pretty good against the bullpen. Where's the price for him though? That's what I want to look at.
It is conceivable. That game's still going on right now, so there's no way
that's true. That could be it too. if you
So
get plus money on the total basis for this tomorrow, I would.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure it's going to be like plus 127. This team's losing. They're losing 3-1.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can. I don't know. Yeah, that line's probably not out yet. So, but anyways, Ian Happ. Do we want to real quick just see? Is it a dong play? Is it?
I
Should we
mean,
look at this. As maybe a
well,
dong play?
dongs have become price dependent for me, but I'm
Mhm.
assuming that he will be in the 5-1 range, but he's in dong range for me.
Yeah, because I'm just looking here again. I'm going back into handy drafts just to check one other thing. Hard hits, barrels, the fly ball rate, not great. That's the only thing there. Look at last 30. Yeah, you might be worth sprinkling a little bit. See what the number is. Again, we've talked about it on this show a lot. Like home run prices. If you're going to get like a plus 350 with him, absolutely not. But if you're getting close to 5-1, I don't hate playing a dong for this too. But definitely total basis for plus money. That's what I'm kind of looking at for tomorrow.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I actually, I'm sure we don't have a total yet, but if we do, this is like a really good opportunity. Like when you see a guy who's batting fourth against a pitcher that we know is giving up a lot of base runners. I'm assuming that there's no lines. Oh wait, do we have it? What's the line? What's the total?
Yes, we do. 8.5.
So I don't hate RBI tomorrow, and RBI is probably going to be 2-1.
Yes, especially because he's going to be behind Seiya. So, and Seiya's been hitting the ball at least pretty well.
I think I'm going to probably do, instead of even home run, I think I'm going to do total bases and then RBI.
Yeah, Michael Busch is also too. Woba is pretty good. Like, so eliminating Tucker from this lineup, he's still got two guys that are right ahead of him, even if he's batting, let's say, third. He's still got two guys that have pretty good Wobas in front of him too. So, yeah, Ian Happ.
So wrap it up in one package for us. We went to Handygrass. We established that we have a dude who's been on fire for the last 5. We went to Hall of Fame bets and discovered that this dude matches the bullpen. We don't have that stuff. But you can find all of that on Hall of Fame bets. It's actually
we do not. This is why you use the two of them together. We
are better
like
together. It's encyclopedias and dictionary
with the actual waffle cone.
Yeah, it's great.
So.
No, it's good. I like that a lot. As I'm looking at it.
Chicago tomorrow. I'm just curious why that's
probably Talon's about to rejoin the rotation again.
Hold on, let me clear my filter.
If you don't see anybody, that's why.
Oh, rookie of the year, Cade Horton is starting tomorrow. Yeah, he's
Cade Horton. The proof concept that awards markets are reactionary, not predictive.
What is? I guess Kurtz is still favored for.
Right?
But
it's weird. So like, Kurtz is negative like 5,000.
I mean, he was like negative 2,000 after that 4 home run game. Like,
right.
That's
right.
That's only taking more steam.
At it, like, let me look at it right now. Like, I'll go to the blue book for this one. But the thing is about these markets, like, it's fine. Like, and I admittedly I'd said to like 2 people, I was like, I don't think Cade Horton's going to win Rookie of the Year because his team like lost second place. He doesn't have any of the counting metrics, like not even close to the counting. You know, it's the best counting metrics in the NL for pitchers, rookie pitchers. It's Chad Patrick.
Yes. Okay. I was like, it can't be Chase Burns. He hasn't pitched enough. Yeah.
Chase Burns is getting activated, which is weird to me. But okay, so I'm going to look at awards.
Right? That is weird. Okay.
So it's for AL Rookie of the Year is off the board for whatever reason. NL Rookie of the Year is Cade Horton at even money, Drake Baldwin at even money, Isaac Collins at 6-1, Matt Shaw at 65-1. And then some like NPCs that are all also on the Brewers. You
didn't mention. What I was going to say. What's Miz's price?
150-1.
Wow.
Here's what's going.
It was a minus. It was a minus in June.
It was minus 250.
Yeah.
That's why the markets are. You can't victory lap.
You
never can. You can't victory lap on these things. So if Drake Baldwin has a 3 home run game later this week, does he just vault on his 17 games under 500 team to first place
if
of the year?
Horton goes out tomorrow and gives up 5 earned runs,
I promise
innings.
you that Collins even has 1 hit, they'll replace each other.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
Don't bet this.
It's a maddening market.
That's also like part of the. I mean, you can bet this market in terms of like it's just stupid, and you'll probably get some really good CLV. But this is also why don't get in the habit of like looking at futures CLV in the middle of the season. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't.
Like we
matter.
do. Don't wax on it.
Well, some of them we do. I may or may not have peaked at a few of our.
Things went very well for floor for us. We're going to talk about that next week. Things went very well for us on the floor, but we're still talking about baseball. We're going to talk about baseball. We're going to have Scott Reichel come in, and we're going to have Scott talk to us about the little bit more of the topic we're going to start right now. Well, we're going to do some chalk talk, and this is a topic that you had sent to me. Before we do the chalk talk, there's one thing that I want to say as the Mets seem to about to be closed out by the Phillies 1-0. There was a Nola Chubb situation. As soon as Scott said to me on our show,
"Oh no,
do you think Nola sucks?" I should have thought this is such a Nola shove spot. And I didn't. It wasn't. I was like, oh, it's gonna be this because I thought that lineup was a freaking joke. Bryce Harper, like no pitch protection after that, and he should have K'd everybody. He didn't. Point is, Mets are just all in on their young dudes coming in. And I think they all have juice. It's kind of nice to give that to that team.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be a weird team. We'll talk about this a little bit later because we're not really talking about the Mets tonight. But they're gonna be a weird team to try and figure out like how to bet, and it kind of leads me to if you have a Met. Okay, because right now season ends today. It's Mets Dodgers as your 6-3 in the NL, and I believe Dodgers are only 14 games over 500. Like. I don't know if they're going to get that 2 seed because they're 4.5 back of the Phillies now. They'll be almost 5. Okay, they're 15 games over. I think so. They're 15. Yeah, they're still going to be 4 games back of Philly with a win tonight, and they're certainly not catching the Brewers. I mean, this Dodgers team got swept by Pittsburgh. They're like sort of on the precipice of losing the division, but yet I weirdly feel very confident that they're
about to score off Duran and tie the game. Just so that like so.
The Mets?
Yeah.
No.
Mets. Yeah, 2 on a man on second, man on third.
Nah, he'll induce a double here or a double ground ball double play. It's
Jeff McNeil. This reeks of a 3-run homer by Jeff McNeil. Just reeks.
If this was against the Yankees, that would be what Jeff McNeil does because he owns that team, but not necessarily the Phillies.
So I mean, look, the point is
like,
but we should talk about the Dodgers
with this team, like because if you look at some of their stuff from the last month, it's not like they've been like bottom of the league, like totally sort of cratering, like the Giants earlier in the summer, the Mets obviously in the summer, like they're still 13th in ERA since August 15th. They are or August 8th. They're still what?
No, one of our Texas Rangers male porn stars hit a grand slam. They're up 4-0.
Oh, it's the Brewers too.
Yeah,
love it.
And also, wait, Scott, did that cash the was that off Quintana? It was. All right, nice. All right, keep going.
Love it. Love our porn stars down there in Arlington.
Yeah, no. So the point with the Dodgers, I know this episode's like so funny because like we had the Monday Night Football on, we have a bunch of distractions. But your point is, what's going on with this Dodgers team, and is there a reason even like, do they have it, or are they still the oldest team in the league? And I just think that all that we're seeing is just that they're the oldest team in the league. That's literally what it is. I still think that like Ohtani, I got a push notification on Ohtani hitting his 47th and 48th. And my instant thought, without even thinking about who was behind him or who was in this or PCA or anything, I'm like, oh, that guy's the MVP in the NL. Like it didn't even blink, like counting stats and just stuff and didn't even blink. Yeah. And I guess the biggest thing that I have that I'm feeling about this Dodgers team is that this Dodgers team kind of feels like, and I really want to talk to Scott about this specifically. I think that the analogy I would use is the Los Angeles Clippers, who are just built every year in the NBA to load manage themselves to the playoffs so that, I don't know, Scott's going to have a very clever retort for this one. So like we can do whatever, but it feels like this team is load managing its way to getting to the postseason.
I'm looking here. I mean, they're also, but like, there's not a bet to be made. Because if you look at the World Series odds, guess who is still the Phillies are the favorite, plus 475. Dodgers are at 5. So it's not like you're buying low on them by any means. And to win the NL, they're only 3-1. Like, what was the cheapest price or the most expensive price you probably paid on them this year? Like plus 150, plus 2. Like, it's not like you are getting, like, they were minus 300 and now they're 3-1, and you're going to get a good on there. So I'm with you. The only thing I just thought was weird is that, like, is Glass now done? What's the deal with Glass?
He's coming back. He's pitching tonight.
Okay. Well, because he was dealing with like tightness, and that's why Ohtani had to come in the other day to pitch. So
apparently he's pitching last minute Glass. Oh wait, no, never mind. Yeah, they just got the update. So no, he's cleared. He's cleared to return.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. 3 hours ago, he's scratching
really
to start in Baltimore.
team.
He's listed as the opener tonight on Monday. He's starting tonight.
At some point, by the way, too, just real quick with the Dodgers, and then let's bring in Scott. Is Roki Sasaki the biggest bust in recent MLB history with the amount of hype that he was getting coming into this
that's
season?
A Scott question. I think that's a perfect time to bring in Scott, because Scott will have lots of. Scott's a professional hater, so he'll have lots of stuff. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, how's it going? What's up?
First of all, good day for the MLB pod.
Yeah, good day so far.
Let's ask you to kick this off. Who's the biggest let's get the last 20 years, most hyped, busted rookie?
So I have to ask you on this, though. Are we including international prospects or no? Because they come in with more expectations immediately, but you've had a couple of domestic guys out of college who are supposed to be really good too. So is there a separate category? We're grouping them all together.
Let's separate category.
Okay, because I think out of the Japanese pitchers, I mean, as a Yankees fan, Kiyagawa's got to be up there. They spent money on him. Matsuzaka had a long career. I wouldn't say that he was as good as people thought with the gyro ball and everything, but he was still around for a while.
I wouldn't consider him a bust.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he still had a career,
like
I can't consider him there.
He was like good for like a
Agawa
there was like spurts where he was good too.
Agawa was really bad. Like, you can argue that Agawa is definitely going to be one of those guys. I think it has to be Sasaki, though. The fact that I know it's still, very early in his career. The fact that he was awful when he got there, he got injured, and then they were using him
injured. Yeah.
And he came back, and they said that his stuff was, quote, underwhelming when he returned, which is probably not a good sign. So he's still very young. It's very early to give him the bust tag because he's going to, of course, be around for a while, I'm assuming. But he's got to be up there on the short list for immediate bust, at least when it comes to rookie seasons. But as a Yankees fan, Agawa had no career at all. Like, Agawa's got to be mentioned because he was supposed to be the next big Japanese phenom, and he did nothing his entire career. So Agawa would be probably my vote for the Japanese guy, but I think Sasaki is definitely in the running, but we're only about 1 year in, so long way to go.
I mean, people thought Yamamoto didn't know what he was doing.
Yankees fans try to forget about Agawa, but I remember.
I think also, Scott, because Agawa, like, you had Tanaka that come in not that long after. Agawa.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long after. And so then I just always associate, great Japanese pitcher, Tanaka. Like, and then I just totally put Agawa up the back of my head.
I want to say Agawa showed up a little bit after Matsuzaka. And everyone thought, like, they're going to be – the Yankees kind of copied the Red Sox trying to get the next great Japanese pitcher. Agawa, for the record, was in the MLB for 2 years. For 2 years, he was in the league. And he was awful because, once again, he was only for 2 years. Career ERA of 6.66. He appeared in 16 games in his career. The second season, he appeared in 2. I go for Agawa if I had to pick for the biggest bust. Sasaki wasn't good his rookie season, obviously. He's still very young. Like, Agawa's career ended in the span of 2 years. It began and ended after the Yankees paid him a lot of money to come over. So he'd be my vote.
There you go. Well, actually, let's go. We can go back to the Dodgers. Let's talk about this Yankees team because we're talking about some chalk right now. And I guess the big question is between really, you can fit in the Dodgers too, but of the chalky teams and the preseason kind of fades, which of these teams actually stink? And which of these teams are load managing themselves are the LA Clippers, which you may also argue stink.
Not enough tree sponsorship money for them to be the Clippers. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard. But point is, I think for the sake of the argument, I think the Yankees, their bullpen they invested in, and none of it's basically worked. Bednar has been pretty good for the most part. Doval forgot how to pitch. And every now and then you see Devin Williams out there and he doesn't suck, but most of the time he does. So the Yankees did invest in the bullpen. That's the main problem for them. They've been playing better. Their main issue was being good against good teams, at least teams above 500. So far in this important stretch, knock on wood, they've won 2 series. They beat Houston. I don't think Houston's good, but record-wise, they're a first-place team. And you know what? They beat Toronto in a series. Good for them. Toronto's owned them all season. They managed to win the last 2 games. 2 back, they're hanging in there. I think the Yankees are, I'd say, better positioned for success in the postseason, but mainly because of how bad I think the AL is. I'm really just not sold in the AL at all. Detroit has been fine. They've been hovering. I mean, they've been coasting that division for the entire season. But Detroit, you can argue, is the 1 seed. They're the best team. Do I think Houston's good? No. Do I think Toronto's good? I really think that they might have peaked a couple months ago. Do I trust them as a young team in the playoffs? No. So there's a lot of chances for the Yankees to find a way back to the World Series in theory if the bats keep rolling, if the bullpen figures out, how to pitch again, then they can have a path there. The NL's tricky. And the Dodgers are, as you said, an old team that has really not played well. Their bullpen's bad too. Shout out to Tanner Scott. I can't believe he actually came in to pitch the other day.
He had 45 saves like 2 years ago. He was,
I know, but
he was the lights out closer that everybody wanted.
He was the big acquisition last year. That was the big acquisition of the trade deadline last year.
It was the equivalent to the Yankees' Devin Williams move, and they've both blown up in spectacular fashion. But you're looking at the issues with these teams. We know that Judge is still very injured. He can't throw in the outfield, but he has to play the outfield because Stanton can't. So that's a separate situation, which can be a problem in theory in the playoffs. But I think the AL is weaker than the NL. You mentioned the Mets might play the Dodgers in the first round. I'm not automatically in pen putting the Dodgers to advance to the second round.
Okay.
I feel like there's a chance they could lose that series. I'm not saying they're going to, but I do think the Dodgers, with their rotation injuries, and when you factor in the actual bullpen issues and even the lineup, which had various droughts throughout the entire season. Mookie's been on and off. Muncy can't stay healthy. Of course, we know Ohtani's a monster and Freeman's still very good, but I'll ask you, do you like their lineup? Do you like from top to bottom? Teoscar's been benched for bad defense. I don't know what his story is. I'm lower on the Dodgers than most people.
What happened to Kiki?
I thought he got injured.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was one of those guys. Like, I think that team has holes, but that team again, but it's just Snell, Glasnow, and Yamamoto all in low innings against 2 rookies and Minaya.
Kiki's there. Kiki played yesterday.
Okay, good. Well, then he's been quiet.
He's batting 198, so he sucks, but he's still there. If that counts.
By the way, it's always really funny when, Scott can appreciate this, as a Jew, when people just like write like Kiki's name out on Twitter and are just like wondering why bots start coming out and saying other things. So I'm like, that word does not mean what you think it means.
Yeah, for hate speech.
It's actually Slovakian for traveler. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's the cap on the Dodgers versus the Mets would be, because the Mets would be the 6. Reminder, we have that in pocket. We gave it out 2 months ago. Would be Snell and Glasnow on low innings, and Yamamoto, who's been great all year, against Minaya and 2 rookies.
Yeah,
and that to me,
I would make the
minus
Dodgers
170
like
favorite.
I was going to say you got to put a 2 in front of that.
Defending World Series champions. They do
and
too.
Also,
Defending
by the way,
World Series champions.
This was This is a bad matchup for the Mets. Like, this is a bad matchup for them last year. This is still a bad matchup for them this year. The only thing I can say about the Dodgers is that they don't really hit lefties like they did last year. And that would be like my big concern, especially like if you're trying to line up in the bracket, if I'm playing Philadelphia, even without Wheeler, you've still got Chrissy and you've got Ranger right there as two
and Luzardo.
Very, very good lefties.
And Luzardo, I sent that to you today.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really trusting Luzardo in the playoffs, but either way,
I think they're going to trust Luzardo in the playoffs. I would get that's
they have a choice
for another.
Yeah,
that's a discussion for another episode, but I absolutely think that they're going to be trusting Luzardo in the playoffs.
We had our Red August. We're putting the Phillies to the side.
For the record, though, if we're talking about a hypothetical series between the Mets and the Dodgers, I would take the Dodgers. But you mentioned the young talent coming through for the Mets. All I'm saying is we've seen it many times before over the last decade or so. I understand that Dave Roberts is now a 2-time World Series champion as a manager, if you want to include the bubble.
Yeah,
we've seen a lot of early exits.
The one that he won
Roberts
in Arlington against the Rays.
Just saying, if you want to count that, you can. If not, separately. They won last year because their team was stacked. I get it all. Even though they were one game away from losing against the Padres somehow. It's never easy.
I mean, they had nobody to throw in that series. I mean, they were bootstrapping Yamamoto coming back and Flaherty, who clearly had run out of gas by the end of the season. So, like, they get an asterisk for the bubble, but that was a deserved. As much as I don't.
Oh no, they were the best team. They deserved.
They were the best team.
I'm just saying
the best team in the beer league season that was the 2020 COVID season.
No, we're saying besides that, last year they were clearly the best team.
No.
What I'm saying is, I've seen Dave Roberts lose many elimination games at home in first round series he should win. Shout out to Howie Kendrick, but I do think you're looking at a spot where the Dodgers would probably win that series. But if you see them implode, the bats go cold again, like the Atlanta series a couple of years ago, where, Mookie starts slumping. You had the Madzak insane stretch where he struck out a bunch of guys. You get what I'm trying to say. In the playoffs, weird things can happen, and it feels like Roberts has been on the wrong side of those things for a decent amount of seasons, with the exception of the legitimate World Series title last year. I'm not going to pretend that Dave Roberts is now a great postseason manager because of the title last year. I'm just not going to pretend that's the case. And I think you'd agree with me. I don't think he's a great postseason
same
manager.
issue Nats fans had with Martinez.
Yeah.
I want to take this because I'm looking at the postseason bracket and I want to go back to the Yankees for a second. I'm looking at this so looking at the bracket. In fact, Spencer, I'm going to put this on screen because I think it's actually really important for the people that do this. So hold on a second. Check this. So that's okay. The Yankees' path appears to be really freaking good if they stay where they are. And
it depends how much you like Boston or whatever, but right now it's basically an AL East path.
Right. Against the two teams that beat them all season. But remember, the playoffs become a 3-game set. So I guess what I'm saying is that, and the 3-game set that, by the way, all those games would be at Yankee Stadium. To me, I'm just looking at this with the Yankees. I just feel like this Yankees team is kind of a team that you have to, whether they become a Dodgers 2024 style duct tape together team led by Trent Grisham playing the role of Andy Podges and just kind of powering this team through. This is such which path would you rather? Would you rather the Yankees path there or Detroit's, even with the bye?
I would take Detroit personally because I don't think Houston's good, and I don't think
same here.
Oh
yeah.
man,
it's maybe because of the actual seating here. I don't think Houston's that good. They've had so many injuries. They don't impress me when I watch them play. You could argue the rotation's got problems because I don't know what the hell's going on with Valdez. But the point is, I would take Detroit personally out of a potential path there by comparison. But for the Dodgers, if we're talking about like their path, for example, beating the Phillies, then the Brewers, and then a World Series.
Who, by the way, the Phillies have owned them in multiple playoff series. They've been fantastic against them in the regular season.
Yeah. The reason why, even though the Red Sox and the Blue Jays have been good against the Yankees so far this season, I would take the Yankees' path over the Dodgers, is the top seeds. I'm more scared of Milwaukee and Philly than Toronto and Detroit. And it's as simple as
That's
that. That's how I look at it.
fair.
I think Detroit, besides Skubal, do I like the other options in the rotation? Do I trust, for example, if you want to go for Casey Mize postseason start? Sure. We'll see what happens there. Like, do they throw Charlie Morton out of the bullpen? I think Detroit, you could argue, might struggle against a Yankees team in a series. Toronto has been good. They've not been as good lately. It comes down to seeding. Milwaukee and Philly are significantly better than Detroit and Toronto. And my guess is the Dodgers have to beat both. And that's not easy entering the World Series in the first place. So
maybe I'm higher on Detroit than you are, Scott, because I just kind of look at the AL and I'm like, I just think Detroit is still like maybe not head and shoulders the best team, but they already had their slump. They've been, I think we're just sort of forgetting about Detroit in the sense that they've just been so far ahead in the Central, which, by the way, like the Central's been a competitive, like there have been competitive teams. I'm not saying that it's like a great division by any means, but even the White Sox in that division are a little frisky. So to me, like
teaser for what we're going to talk about in a week. Teams that we're buying.
See what I did there? But no, the Yankees to me, like I agree with you 100% in that I would much rather take the path of I'm going to get one of Seattle or Houston, and then I'm going to hope that I just get out of whoever's that bloodbath of the AL East, and I just take that as the winner there, and you have your path from there. Plus, I still like Detroit. I trust Detroit's bullpen probably more than
I really like Detroit's
bullpen.
And Hinch. I like Hinch too.
And the rest of same here too. I mean, no garbage cans I've seen in the Detroit metro area, but either way, like I still trust. I think a lot of
he didn't bring one with
structural,
him. Like,
he might. We don't know. It might be hidden somewhere. But I trust a lot of the structural pieces there on the Detroit side. Maybe I'm just also biased because Adam and I have a lot of leverage on some Detroit like exactas for the World Series and for the AL. But I think that Toronto probably peaked a little bit early. They haven't looked to be the same team, but they're also 5 games above 500 in August too. Like they weren't necessarily bad last month. They just weren't as on a tear as they were before. So, I don't know, man. AL's weird. I feel like last year it was so obvious the Yankees were the best team. This year I'm like, I think Detroit's the best team, but I think there's at least like some frisky teams in the AL.
For the record, though, since we talked about path, I am picking Detroit to make the World Series. I just feel like if we're talking about which 1-2 seeds, I'd be more afraid of facing back-to-back. I'm more afraid of facing Philly and Milwaukee back-to-back than Toronto and Detroit.
Yes.
That's my case for the path. I would still take Detroit in the American League, but if you're asking Yankees versus Dodgers, I'd rather avoid Philly and Milwaukee as long as possible, and I'd rather deal with Toronto and Detroit. That's my point.
That's fair. So, I mean, at this point, the only bet that there is really to make, in my opinion, is the Rangers to win the AL pennant. And that is just this team that will not go away. I don't know, Scott, I know that you don't always dabble on the future stuff, but are you interested in Yankees to make the LCS or anything at a short number, or are you interested in any sort of like exactas with them, or how would you play it?
Oh, I'm going to ask, do you think the recent stretch they've had is a fugazi, or do you think that they've started to figure some stuff out? Because I really have a hard time trusting teams whose bullpen's in complete disarray, and I can't stand this damn bullpen. Like, I cannot stand watching this team try to close games. They're playing better lately. They're still very home run dependent, which in Yankee Stadium works, but when you're a road team for a 7-game series, it's not ideal. When you need to rely on home runs constantly, you're familiar with that as a Phillies fan. It's happened against Arizona a couple years ago.
3-game series, that'll work though.
That's fine for a 3-game series when you're the home team for the majority of it, but you head to Toronto. In Toronto, you've been awful in that building for the entire season. Even Detroit with good pitching. The problem that I run into is that, and Adam as a Phillies fan knows, like in those last 2 games at home against Arizona a couple years ago, if you just have a couple of games where the ball just doesn't travel, especially in colder weather, and you're not great at small ball, you're not great at fielding, you're not a great base running team, you're
just literally describing the Phillies minus
that's
the
what
base
I said against Arizona.
Yeah. No, I know.
The point is, if the Yankees are not fundamentally sound, they're not going to manufacture runs, and they need to rely on home runs to win. if the cold weather causes your bats to run dry, I'm not going to pick you to win the World Series. Yeah. It's why I picked the Dodgers and the Astros all these other years. They were just the more complete team. I don't think the Yankees are a complete team. The bats are going well right now, but if the home runs dry up, they've proven many times they are not able to really manufacture runs, and that's going to hurt them in crunch time.
Yeah, but to your point, I think what sounds like we're all saying is that we still like the Tigers because the Tigers of all these teams manufacture runs more than anybody else. There is nobody who you are looking at that is the long AL also traditionally has been very chalky. There's nobody you're looking at and you're just like, oh yeah, you know what? I want long shots right now. Like there's just nothing because like you broke it down. It's just none of these teams are very complete. I think the issue, by the way, with that Toronto team is that the starters have been overgassed and the bullpens and Jeff Hoffman should never have been pitching as many innings as he's pitched. He's been terrible.
Speaking of closer problems, Toronto being in first place with a closer you don't trust is probably not a good sign for October.
He's not a closer. He should have always been a setup man. And then and Boston is just all in on all their rookies, I guess.
And Anthony's hurt now.
And Anthony's hurt. And that guy was the guy who gave him spark all season. So for me, look, I believe in this Yankees team. I believe in them coming out of the AL East just because I think that's kind of what I think that might be actually what their boost is. But Detroit doesn't have the home runs, doesn't have the stars. It's probably going to be, even if they have the best record, they'd still probably be a dog to like the Yankees in the playoffs.
But they can pitch. You know what? Houston might not have been good. They went into Houston and won both games last year. That matters for experience.
This makes me want Texas in the playoffs so much more, just from a just a juice like coming into the playoffs. We're going through all these teams, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, like I get it. I know that Toronto can't close games. I know that the Yankees, are home run dependent. They've been home run dependent basically every single year that Aaron Boone's been the manager. Yeah. Like we know these teams already. Texas is like the one team. It's like, I could see a legit kind of deep run by that team.
I think that's the sleeper team for me. It's whichever team, Boston, Texas, whichever team kind of sneaks in there. I'm not saying that they're going to make it that far, but that's the team I would pick as the Cinderella. I think my last point. Sorry. I just think a wild card team in the AL has a better chance of making the World Series than a wild card team in the NL.
Ooh.
That's my stance.
But so you know, it's usually been the other way around.
Correct. But it goes back to the seedings once again. I think that you're looking at Philly and Milwaukee and the Dodgers even as the 3 seed compared to the AL. I think you could argue the AL's more open, in my opinion, or maybe these top seed teams aren't as complete as the NL teams. So if you want to go for a Rangers run, even a Red Sox run in theory, I don't really believe it. But I think you can make an argument for a long shot in that league as opposed to the National League. I think the NL is going to be chalky. You agree with that? You want to hear
something wild here, Scott? This is like the old Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
Go look at the run differential between Seattle, Houston, and Texas.
Yeah.
You want to guess which one has a run differential of 80 plus more runs than the other two teams?
I know it's Texas.
It's the Texas Rangers. Like this team. I mean, again, I don't know. To use like a kind of metaphor from the NFL side of things, it's like they have like all the good fundamentals, but they have terrible coaching and they have terrible special teams. So they just lose like stupid games. And it seems like that's just kind of been that team the whole year. I got another question for you, Scott. Baseball, not related to baseball, but I know you're a big tennis.
We're picking out the chalk and going to talk about.
We're going from the chalk to the hard court.
Scott had, by the way, a terrible loss on Sunday. That was
we tried to offload it because I told you that Alcaraz would win, but it's fine. It's all.
Were you? I was okay. That was going to be my first quick question. Was who were you leveraged on? Was it Alcaraz or Sinner for this one?
We had a bunch of pre-Aussie Open leverage or pre-French Open leverage. We had Alcaraz to win the French and Sinner to win the U.S. Open. So we had a bunch of free bet parlays that were tied into Sinner to win the U.S. Open.
We've been building this for months.
But
we had we also had as part of it, we had OKC to win the West, Florida Panthers to win the Stanley Cup, Alcaraz to win the French, Sinner to win the US Open, Phillies to win the division, and it was like
We would have made like one.
Sunday
We
was
would have
going
made
to be
like
like a-
1.5 each. If
it was going
Alcaraz to win the French Open, because the fact that you hit that as part of it and you still had the center for US is absolute. Is like
it was a miracle anyway, because Sinner had 3 championship points.
Miracle that he won that one.
So I don't feel as bad about it. But once again, you mentioned the leverage stuff. It was mostly on Sinner for 1.5.
Okay.
I was telling Adam as we approached the semis and so on, I picked Alcaraz.
Looked really, really good. Like
I did an episode for the final. I picked Alcaraz. So I basically told Adam, like, I think we're going to lose, but it is what it is. And Alcaraz just won in 4 sets.
I know Djokovic is old, but the fact that he just completely wiped the floor with him in that semi matchup, I was like, oh, he's locked. He's locked in. Here's the just longer term.
Sorry about that. It was very fresh in our minds having this issue.
Who ends up with more majors? Is it or Grand Slams? Is it Sinner or is it Alcaraz ultimately?
Ooh, good question.
I think I'm going to go with Sinner. I think it's mainly based on consistency, which I know sounds I'm being like a hypocrite here because both of them have been so dominant, but Alcaraz, with the way that he plays, I think can get injured more frequently. That's what happened to Nadal.
I mean, I was literally about to say, it's like, so you mean Nadal? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it's similar that way. Alcaraz can also get upset by other people. Sinner tends to be a lock to make it into the final of almost all these Grand Slams. So you could argue that even though Alcaraz might win the head-to-head, kind of like once again Nadal versus Federer, maybe there's a late surge there like Federer had against Nadal where he figures him out, wins a couple late, and we'll go from there. But I do think if you're asking which player is more likely to miss substantial time with injury, I think it's Alcaraz. And if you're talking about who's going to win more overall, durability is important. Now, Sinner's had some injuries too. I'm aware of it, but I think Sinner's more likely to stay healthy for longer than Alcaraz. So I'll pick Sinner. Very, very close. It might be like 22-21. Like it could be neck and neck the entire way through.
It's like the classic case of, Alcaraz can have a higher ceiling, but Sinner is going to be more consistent.
For me, it's about quantity over quality. Like if you're going to win more finals than you lose, that's great. But if you're going to make 30 finals as opposed to 20 and you win 20 something, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like if you maximize your chances by making all these semis, all these finals, I'm going to pick you just based on probability. I think Sinner will make more Grand Slam finals than Alcaraz, so I'm picking him to win more.
He's a beast, dude, and everything's been great. And then how Scott says, Scott's like he's a madman. That's his whole thing that he does. And then he said yesterday, he says before we get there, I'm super pumped, man. I mean, I'm right now looking at some of these that did not hit. Like, in fact, I'm gonna filter right now and look at futures that lost. Hold on, future. This is like looking at ex-girlfriends. This one's such a good one. This one was well, no, that one was dead. It was like I had like Penn State in it. It's definitely dead. There was the one of them I had Dallas Goedert touchdown or Dallas Goedert catches in the Super Bowl with Sinner. We had Super Bowl stuff with Sinner. This is
we had stuff that were tied up, for basically like
Sam Bennett, Conn Smythe, Scotty Scheffler, Masters, Yannick Sinner to win the US Open and then Detroit World Series, which would have been dicey, but that would have been nice. Man, all of these.
It's fine. In theory, we could have hedged it a bit more, but I did pick Alcaraz to win the final.
We just dumped all of our free bets on Alcaraz starting now. And now
I was giving Adam warning signs that it didn't look promising.
He basically was like, I gave out on the show Alcaraz.
Center.
Now we have Alcaraz parlayed with like the New York. We have it with the Yankees to win the AL.
That's our current sweat now. We have Alcaraz to win the US Open.
AL East.
Win the AL East. That was like 9-1, 8-1, or something like that. So
yeah. We have another good one. We have one other good one that I did secretly that I didn't want to tell you about, but it was just so you know, we have Skubal Cy Young. We have Skubal Cy Young at -130 when that was a stupid number.
That's a joke and a half, but yeah.
Joke and a half number. Alcaraz to win the US Open, Sinner to win the Aussie Open.
Okay.
And the Lynx to win the WNBA. And then there's and then I'll keep going. There's one other one that's like really good. It's like with the Phillies. We have Phillies division with Alcaraz. We have a couple that are still alive that are fine, but it would have been lobster on me type of situation. It would have been amazing had this all worked out. That's what it is. That's betting. All right. So, all right, Scott.
Parlay your MLB futures with Yannick Sinner.
Parlay your MLB futures. I'm going to make an executive decision that we're not going to do a dad moves. Instead, we're going to pivot. We're going to do something else.
Am I staying for this or am I leaving?
You're staying for this. You're staying for this.
Cool.
You're staying for this.
All right, making sure.
All right. Are we
talking Masters futures? What are we doing?
No. We're gonna get a little bit off. It can be on baseball. It can be something else. You have Yannick Sinner Aussie Open as your anchor leg in a parlay. All right. Let's do this, guys. Let's everybody give 2 legs of something that's happening between now and the Aussie Open that you want to have as part of this. I'll use DK as the as the builder for this, just so that we can kind of come up with a couple odds and have some fun. Let's have some fun with this. So I will let Scott go first as our guest. Give me 2 things. They can be plays, they can be futures. What do you want to parlay with plus 120 Yannick Sinner to win the Aussie Open?
All right, I'm going to ask, are we playing it safe or can I go for glory here?
You can always go for glory with me.
All right, give me Florida State to win the ACC plus 750.
Oh, out of the gate.
I was going to use the college football one too. Okay.
All right.
Wow. I like that team a lot.
Like
I understand they played nobody this past week, but I like them. I think they're good.
Okay. Give me one more leg.
Ooh.
So that's going to be 1. And then I got to switch to something else. So let me just quickly see what else I can do. What do I want here? Sorry, let me just see what I can
it's fine. That's like we talked about this earlier today when I was getting my watch fixed, and I was like, Scott, let's talk about Heisman. He's like, I can't without the odds. And so,
yeah. Well, by the way, I don't know if we want to announce who we officially added to our portfolio for the Heisman.
We added, because
we can save it for another time.
Yeah, I'll save it for another day.
All right. My other leg I'll do. You know what? I'm just going to take it because it's a free leg as far as I'm concerned. I don't think Seattle catches this Houston team. Give me Houston division minus 200.
All right, let's do this. So here's what we got. I'm gonna take these, by the way. Just so
I don't know if you agree about Houston, but I think Seattle's not going to.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a default situation. So minus 200 is actually I think a great deal. All right, so this is a relatively safe parlay. It is Scott's parlay is Yannick Sinner to win the Aussie Open, Florida State to win the ACC, and Houston to win the division. I'm gonna throw that's a 2705 just for the purposes of the show. I'm gonna throw a little something on it, and now I will hand it to CJ for his. CJ, what do you got? So Yannick Sinner is your final leg.
There's no requirement here for odds.
You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
Okay. All right, so let's go. First leg is Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West.
Oh, out of the gate, another one.
We'll talk about this at some point, but
yes,
come on, like this is stupid that that we have the same price for the Chiefs to win the division, who were
plus 190
favorites.
Plus 190. When was the last time that they were plus money to win the division?
My guess is Alex Smith being there. That's my guess.
I'm ashamed to admit this, but I heard this on Simmons this morning, and he asked that exact same question. When were they playing?
It's actually.
I imagine Alex Smith was the quarterback back then.
I mean, I think Denver like smokes this Colts team this week, but keep go on.
Then I've got. So the other one I'm going to add to this leg is I'm going to go Minnesota Timberwolves to win the West 9-1.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't know you were such a Rudy Gobert fan.
I didn't realize that either.
It's honestly, this is a bet that is just a belief that I still think Ant has another level to go up to. And
okay, so this is 60 plus 6280. Sinner to win the Aussie Open. Kansas City Chiefs to win the division. Timberwolves to win the West. Okay, that is in. All right, so here's mine. I'm gonna do this.
Wait, what were the odds on mine again?
2,700.
Okay,
I have it saved. I took it. For
right,
took a little bit for you guys.
I had a safer leg, but whatever.
All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. It's easier if I just do it this way. Okay. So I'm gonna do. I got Yannick Sinner to win the Aussie Open. I'm going to do. Let me just see. I need to see what this is, and I want to make sure that it's. Just looking at the price on this. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown. With Yannick Sinner to win the Aussie Open, and then my final leg is going to be man, this is I'm just trying to find the odds on it because I know that they're gonna be this is where it gets it's gonna get weird.
Joel Embiid to win MVP.
Very close, actually. He is involved in this cap.
It has to be a Philadelphia.
It's going to be a Sixers or something playoff.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not going to be that. It's the Charlotte Hornets to make the playoffs at 10-1 as the final leg in this. Which actually now let me do this. I'm gonna take Jalen Hurts out because it's not giving me enough juice. I'm gonna do Jalen Hurts 2 touchdowns. Okay. Jalen Hurts 2 touchdowns this weekend against the Chiefs in a game that I have the under.
What can possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? All right. Jalen Hurts 2 touchdowns. The Charlotte Hornets to make the playoffs because in my scenario, the Sixers do not make the playoffs. Brandon Miller has a fantastic season. LaMelo is never hurt. And they sneak in there. They get there. They get in as like the 6th. All right. And this comes to 112-1. This is so
you know what would be the ultimate sweat for this, right? Is that you nail the center one, you get obviously the Hurts TDs, and that Hornets one comes down to the plane.
Yeah, it probably will, to be honest.
That would be a unbelievable
sport. But they're 5-1 to make the play-in, and so you basically it's like at that point, I think it's great. So yeah.
I have no comment about the Charlotte Hornets inclusion in this bet. I can't stand LaMelo Ball. So
I was actually hoping Scott he was going to go with the Joel Embiid.
I thought you were going to make a case for the
really
Sixers to
I
thought you were making a Sixers case of like they'll make the playoffs or even like division opportunities there, but that's probably not going to happen.
No way. I'd rather have that. All right. So this was a fun episode. This is fun. We got football on Wednesday. We still took an hour to talk about some baseball while football was on. Apparently JJ McCarthy threw his first touchdown pass, but it was to the other team. It was a pick six. Okay. Yeah, good for him. I have his under touchdowns through the season, so I like that.
You know my thoughts on JJ McCarthy.
Yes. So Scott, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter, RHL Radio. You can find me on SGPN, bunch of podcasts there. But yeah, once again, thanks for having me on.
So thanks, Scott, for coming. We have Spencer, our producer, at Spencer_Ray. CJ is at Dad's That Bet. I am at Hey Rosenberg. Please like and follow us at Dad's Bet Baseball. On Wednesday, it's the Dad's Bet Baseball and football. We're gonna have Sean Hardy on here. We're gonna talk about Ravens. We're gonna talk about how you bet MVPs during the season because there's some marquee matchups and you kind of want to look ahead. Hall of Fame bets. Thank you to our sponsor. Use code DADS, especially now this football season. It's really good for finding TDs. It's really good for using all those boosts also in at correlated SGPs. Scott and I did it last night, and we cashed a nice 12-1 SGP. That was a lot of fun. So big love to all those people. And with that, CJ, what is the final word?
The words of our producer Spencer about JJ McCarthy. He is ass.